So this is our negative coronavirus test, which came back much earlier than we anticipated. And since they came back early, we can leave Beijing. So we decided to leave tomorrow. So we're in the midst of packing because we just like don't want to risk being in Beijing and getting stuck here because our area could become medium or high risk, and then we just wouldn't be able to leave at all. So we changed our flight, we booked a hotel, and we are planning on leaving tomorrow evening. Going to Xiamen, which is where our layover is, and then we'll spend a few days in Xiamen and then catch our flight from Xiamen to LA, and then LA to Chicago, and then hopefully we'll be home in a few days. Fingers crossed. Okay, Hannah and I just finished packing. We have all these things, but we're getting ready to leave the hotel, and then we'll drive to the airport, which is like an hour away, and then go to Xiamen. How are you feeling, Hannah?
What? I'm anxious. I'm really anxious.
But what did your animal friends say?
Oh, they said, today is gonna be a good day. Or no, I have a good feeling about today.
Okay, so.
Like, if the elephant thinks that way, maybe that's true.
So, you may notice we're back in the same hotel that we just left this morning. So basically what happened was that we checked out, took a car, got to the airport, got in line to check in, and they told us we cannot leave. The reasoning being we had visited a medium risk area within 14 days. And we had literally just gone there for a few hours, and we'd also been there before it became a medium risk area. So we sat on the floor of the airport for a while, called our parents, called this government hotline to try to figure out like when we can actually leave, because no one can actually clearly explain to us when. And then we were like, well, let's just call a car and maybe just try to leave by train. So then we did that, and we were on our way to the train station, but then we decided not to go there because we didn't really think that they would let us leave. And then we just came back to the hotel. We had to cancel our flight, like the whole booking, because we just like don't know when we can take it. Okay, updates to come, but right now I guess we're stuck indefinitely. Okay, so just a quick pause here to kind of explain what happened after this and our new plan for getting out of Beijing and going back to the States. So after we couldn't board our flight on Wednesday, we called around and found out that what the airline was saying was true. Like technically we were not supposed to leave the city because we had visited this medium risk area. And if we did leave, we would be breaking some rules. But we figured that if we just didn't tell them that we had been there, they wouldn't know. This was kind of a gamble because we knew that the government was tracking our phones to some extent, but we didn't really know to what extent. But we decided to try again anyway because the COVID test that we had taken was only valid for 7 days. And if we didn't leave within those 7 days, we would have to get another test. So we booked a new flight from Beijing to Xiamen. And the route back to America was Beijing to Xiamen, and then Xiamen to LA, and then LA to Chicago. And we only booked the first leg because we didn't want to risk thousands of dollars not knowing that we could actually board in Beijing. But if we were able to board in Beijing and get to Xiamen, our plan then was to catch the flight the next day that was heading to LA. And we had some concerns about entering and exiting Xiamen, for example. We didn't know if we were technically supposed to be quarantined since we were coming from Beijing. And we also weren't able to get this health code app that everyone was supposed to have when entering Xiamen. So that was the plan. And you're kind of gonna see how that all plays out in the next few clips. Guys, we're at the airport right now. We actually made it. We're just waiting to board. So it looks like we're going to leave Beijing, which, like, honestly feels like a small miracle. No, not a small miracle, a large miracle.
A big miracle.
We're on the plane. We got on the plane. We got on the plane. We're leaving. We're leaving Beijing. So we arrived at the airport in XIAMEN like, I don't know, an hour or two ago, and we're here and we're not being forcefully quarantined, so that's a plus. But the bad news is that we can't seem to buy this flight. So the flight that we were planning to get on is tomorrow. It's from XIAMEN to LA. And for some reason, our payment method keeps being declined. I've like called them. It's not really working, but this feels like a small obstacle in comparison to what we have gone through before. So hopefully we can figure out this payment thing soon and then be on a flight tomorrow to LA. I could be home soon, potentially, if everything works out. We're so close. Well guys, the small obstacle of paying for this flight has actually become a giant obstacle, and we've been in the airport like 5 hours trying to buy this flight. Like, called the airline a million times, tried to do it online, tried to do it at the ticket counter, 2 different ticket counters, and it's not working. And we're running out of options, and the flight is tomorrow morning at 10, and honestly, what to do? Okay, just another quick pause here to explain what happened here and also what happened afterward, because I didn't film very much because it got very, very stressful. The reason we weren't able to book the flight was because of 2 things. The first thing was that every time we tried to book the flight ourselves on the website, it kept saying we had a duplicated reservation because the website still thought that we were on the next day's flight already. But we had actually already canceled it because we couldn't get on that flight in Beijing a few days before. So then when we called XIAMEN to have them book it for us, they would do it and then they would send us a payment link. But for some reason, the payment link would not work. Like, it would decline our foreign credit cards. And then we tried to go to the ticket counter in the airport itself, and again, it wouldn't take our foreign credit cards. So it was this duplicated reservation, and for some reason, no one could take our foreign credit cards. So that was why we couldn't book the flight. So we left the airport kind of thinking that we weren't going to catch the next day's flight. And these flights out of XIAMEN to the US only went out once a week. So we kind of thought we're going to have to stay here for another week. And the problem with that was our visas were expiring just 3 days after that flight. And in order to get a new visa, we would have to turn in our passports like a week before. So that was just a whole nother thing. So we finally just went to bed. But at 5 in the morning, my mom called us and she said, I have a friend here whose parents are gonna send you the money in Alipay so that you can buy the flight through Alipay, which was a more guaranteed form of payment. So we tried that, but again, it didn't work because the amount of money was so large that Alipay wanted to verify it, and we couldn't verify it because of some technical issues. So after that, they actually offered to pay for it for us, and then we would pay them back through my mom's friend. So we did it, but at this point it was like 7 a.m. and the flight left at 10, and we were still in the hotel. We had to gather up our stuff, check out, and drive to the airport. And that ended up taking another couple hours, and we didn't really even arrive at the airport until like a little before 9. So this is only a little over an hour before the flight leaves. So we rush to the airport. And when we got there, we actually saw a lot of people who were also late, who were also trying to get on this flight. So that calmed our nerves a little bit, and then you'll see what happened after that. Okay, so I haven't filmed in a while because we've had like a really crazy 24 hours. But we are actually in LA right now. We made it to the United States, which is like, honestly, like we're not even home yet, but I'm so relieved. I thought that we were gonna have to be in Xiamen for another week, but we're in America. We're in America. Hannah, we're in America. I'll give more detailed things later, but we're here in LA and we're gonna catch a flight in a few hours, well, several hours to Chicago. Oh my gosh, you guys are reunited. How does it feel?
Feels great.
Here's some pictures that I just took of them in their first moments on the screen. Adorable, adorable. Thank you, Jared, for coming. We're here in Chicago. We made it. Hi, Mom. Hi. We're not hugging right now because we're practicing social distancing. Jared brought us all these sandwiches and water. Oh my gosh. Okay, so that's that. That's how we got back to the States. I've been back now for a few days and I am quarantining in a friend's house because my dad is high risk and we wanted to play it safe. But I just wanted to mention a couple things here. The first thing is that I wanted to extend some specific thanks to people who were particularly helpful in this whole situation. First of all, to Yaqing and her parents who actually bought the flight that got us back here. And then to a bunch of people who were trying to help us buy the flight while we were in the airport. So to Felipe, his friend Eating, her dad, and her dad's friend. Also my sister Elizabeth, my aunt Haiwen, and of course my mom, who stayed up all night trying to help us with this. To Tim and Cameron, who were kind of like my personal hype men during this whole navigating how to get home thing. Also to Emmy and Gwen, who are hosting me here in their house, and then to Brianna If to organize the GoFundMe, and then everyone who donated to the GoFundMe, which kind of leads me into my next thing, which is that the GoFundMe is going to stay open for a while because even though we are not in China anymore and the expenses aren't piling on top of each other, we did spend a lot of money trying to get back. Honestly, we are so overwhelmed and thankful for everyone's generosity. We honestly can't express how grateful we are and how wonderfully supported we feel by all of you guys. So again, I just want to say thank you guys so much. I know that I skipped a long chunk of time between February and now, so I'm going to keep posting my vlogs to cover that time. But after that, maybe this channel will go into a hiatus and then we'll see where it goes after that. All right, guys, thank you again so much and we'll see you around. Bye.